Good night. Good night. Good night. What is going on? Welcome to Late Night. I am your facilitator for the night, Shane Teddy Walters. All right, hey, how y'all doing, man? How is everybody doing? Listen, we are live tonight once again. As you come in, say hi, say hello, and as usual, go ahead and make sure that you tag some folks to come on and join us tonight. We got stuff we want to talk about. Tonight, what we're talking about is we are talking about choice versus feelings. Choice versus feeling. You say, well, what's that all about? Well, basically, I feel like, right? No, I've noticed that there are a lot of individuals that are making choices based on their feelings, and those choices are actually hurting them more than it is actually helping. And like, I'm wondering, why do we keep doing that? Why is it that we keep doing that? So as you come in, like I said, share the video, invite some folk to come on. Let's have a good time tonight. As usual, if you would like to talk to me, press that button. I'll let you come on live. No makeup, bonnets, all welcome. Just want to have a good conversation tonight, all right? So, hey, Miss Doherty, how you doing? All right, so choice versus feelings. So, question, right? Hey, Google, turn volume to 3. All right, so let me stop hollering at y'all. Okay, so that was my intro portion, whole situation. All right, until I get a better intro situation. So, once again, as you come in, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Go ahead and share the video, tag a friend or two. Go ahead, tag 10 people. 10 people. As you come in, just tag 10 people. Choice versus feelings. So, as I was saying earlier, I see people making a lot of choices regarding their life. We're talking about just life, not just relationship, but just life. I see people making choices regarding their life that is counterproductive to what it is that they actually want. And that is crazy to me, because I am a firm believer that what I want should come before other people's opinions and feelings. You get what I'm saying? Big shout out to my brand. This is my brand, Big Man Approved. Merchandise will be available soon. All right, Big Man Approved brand, got to represent tonight. But in any case, yeah. So I'll give you a quick story. All right. So I got a friend of mine, and this friend of mine is in love. Right? She is in love. She was in love with her friend. Right? So, and being in love with her friend, I guess her friend is not really reciprocating the love. Now, a lot of us have been in that situation. A lot of us have been in situations with unrequited love. Unrequited love is just part of the whole mix. A lot of times you fall in love with people who just don't see you the same way. I don't know, like, I've been in situations where I'm like really feeling a chick, and she's like, bro. And I'm like, hit me with the bro. I was like, I've been in situations where, I've been on the other end as well, where, somebody's really feeling me, I know they are, and I'm just not into them, or whatever the case is. So it's not a weird situation. That's not the weird part about it. That's not really the main focus. All right. So she is in love with her friend. Her friend really values her friendship, right? Whether or not he has the same feelings or he feels like, whether or not he has feelings for her or whatever the case is, that is not too clear in the whole situation. But they decided they were going to be friends. Now, this is what happened. Dude got to a place where he decided that, he wanted to all right. So dude got to a place where he decided that he decided that he got to a place where he wanted to make some changes. So he went to his friend. All right. She's in love, but he went to his friend and said, look, I'm going to make some changes or whatever the case is, and you need to make some changes too. All right, I'm going to change this, and you need to change this, and you need to change that, because, you know what I mean, if you can't change those things, then we won't be vibing like we usually do, because I'm making some changes. If you don't make them changes, then our connection that we have is not going to be what it was or what it should be, or whatever the case is. So she took offense to him saying that, or the way that he decided to express himself. Hey, Natasha, how you doing, baby? Julian in the house, how you doing, love? All right. Kiel, not Miss Doherty, Kiel, how you doing? All right. So she decided that, she felt some type of way, right? He made some changes. She didn't like how he expressed himself. So he said it a certain way. He was kind of a little bit disrespectful or whatever the case is, or, he was not necessarily disrespectful, but he was a bit crass, right? He did not really, he ain't pepper it with some sugar. You know what I mean? Really? Natasha gonna hit me with the bro? Anyways, but she didn't like how, so basically what happened was that she decided that she was going to take a stand, because number one, you're not going to talk to me like that. Number two, if you got to make some changes, then you make the changes. That don't have nothing to do with me, right? And she decided to take a stand. She was like, yo, I'm going to stand on this. So because she stood her ground, and watch this. This is the thing right here. And I know where a lot of you are going to go as far as your thought process is concerned, but I want you to hear me out. Here's the meat of the matter. So now, because she made a choice to stand her ground based on her feelings, because she made a choice to stand her ground based on her feelings. Love you too, baby. Gina, love you. All right, so because she made a choice based on her feelings, now they no longer communicate the way that they used to. They no longer communicate the way they used to. So basically, he is not in her life, because even though she's in love with him, that's still her best friend. You know what I mean? And she is basically his best friend as well. But, because she decided to stand her ground, he decided that, you know what, they can't vibe basically on that same level. So now he's no longer in her life the way that he was. Now, let's stop there for a second. Number one, I know most of us would, and I personally, let me just put my stamp on it. I applaud her. Good job. Good job on standing your ground. Good job on, not succumbing to his demands or whatever the case is. Because, sometimes people make demands of you when they should be asking you. You know what I mean? Sometimes people speak to you with a level of disrespect, if you will. So even if it's not intentional, sometimes people speak to you with a level of disrespect, and because they're speaking to you in that form of fashion, then now you got to stand your ground in that situation as well, right? So I applauded her, because there's a lot of other times where I felt personally, it's something that I knew, that it's some people that I'm familiar with. There were times when I felt personally that, this is not the healthiest of situations. You need to exit that situation. and, leave it behind or whatever the case is. And her taking a stand and choosing her feelings or how she felt over his demands and what he wanted, I could applaud that, right? I could definitely applaud that. And I was proud of her, whatever the case is. But here is the problem. Here's the problem. The problem is that now she's made her stand, she's not happy that he's not in her life. Right? So me knowing that, what I said to her was this. And it's kind of the meat of the matter tonight, what I'm saying to all of you. Like, stop making choices that are going to affect you in a negative manner. Stop making choices, even though you may think they be good choices, that hurt you. Because you want this person in your life, yes? Like, that's the first question you got to ask yourself. Do I want this person in my life? That's the first question. Do I want this person in my life? So then if you want the person in your life, then you now have to make another choice. Do you want this person in your life at whatever capacity they come in? Or do you only want them in your life at a specific capacity? Right? That's the next choice. And see, here's the thing. It's not about how you feel, really. It's not about the feelings to the situation. You know what I mean? The emotions, here's the thing, emotions are temporary, number one. Every feeling, there's no such thing as a permanent feeling. Every feeling is temporary. Happy, sad, angry, melancholy, whatever. All feelings are temporary, right? So you should never make any kind of decision when you are too high in your feelings or too low in your feelings. You should never make a decision when you're too happy, and never make a decision when you're too sad, right? Because though you won't be feeling that happy all the time. When that happiness dies down, you got to figure out, did I make a good decision? When that sadness dissipates, you got to figure out, did I make a good decision? Earl, miss you, bro. Good to see you. So the first question, like I said, do you want that person in your life? First question, off rip. If it's, it'd be nice if they were in my life, but, it's not really a necessity, then by all means, stand your ground, stand firm on whatever decision you make. Stand firm, by all means. But if you really want that person in your life, you sat down and you thought about it, and you're like, I don't want to live without you. I don't, and like I said, it doesn't even necessarily it's not even necessarily a romantic situation. Sometimes it's a friend. Sometimes it's a leader. Sometimes it's a teacher. Sometimes sometimes it may be in the job that you have. But like I said, if it was just a friend, can you be happy knowing that you don't have this person in your life? Now, there's not a lot of people that you can't live without. It really isn't. You think about it. Just think about it. Go through your whole spectrum of life. All the people that's around you. If you never saw them again, you may not be like ecstatic about it. It may not be great, but it wouldn't be like devastating. But there is that one person in your life usually where if they are gone, that is devastates you. Now, situations and circumstances, removing that person from your life is one thing. Death, they get married, they got a job, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? That's different. But when it comes to just your personal, they said something to me and I'm offended. They said, or they're not giving me the thing that I feel like I need, or thing I feel like I want. Not even talking about need, but the thing I feel like I want. You know what I mean? Then you have to really. The question is, where is the value of that person? Is that person's presence the value, or is it the thing that they're giving you the value? What do I mean by that? Okay, so like I said, she's in love with her best friend, right? Now, she had a choice to make back previously. The choice was, do I make it a situation where it's either a relationship or nothing, or do I accept being best friend? Once again, you got to weigh that out. Is that person's presence more important than relationship? Than relationship? It's a choice that you have to make. Now, don't get me wrong. When you make these choices, it does not mean that you're going to be 100% okay with the choices that you have to make. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you are 100% happy with the choices that you have to make, but you got to think about it. What are you giving up by making the choice that you are making? You may be giving up your soulmate. They may not be they may not be your wife, the person that's supposed to be your wife. May not supposed to be a person that's supposed to be your husband. I don't believe that your soulmate has to be a person that you are in a relationship with. I think that there are some individuals, I think what a soulmate is, are people that you connect with on such a deeper level that it goes beyond friendship. It goes beyond marriage. It goes beyond love. It goes beyond, it's just, there's a certain je ne sais quoi that you can't, there's some people that you just connect with on just so many other levels, and relationship may not work in the midst of all those connections, but there's something that connects y'all on a whole deeper level. And it might be male to male. It might be female to female. Your soulmate doesn't have to be another gender. Because like I said, that sharing, what is the soul? The soul is the mind, the will, and the emotion, the mental, the emotional, the choices. That's what the soul is. Mind, will, and emotion. That's the definition of the soul. You know what I mean? That's the real definition of what a soul is. So when you have somebody that you connect with on that level, I think that you're happier if you can protect that thing. You know what I mean? But I think what happens is that we get to a place where we feel like, you know what? I want this one thing, and this one thing is more important than anything else. And we don't even realize that that's the choice that you're making. That is the choice you're making. Let me calm down. Read comments. Jackie said, I lost a great guy friend because I told him I don't see us beyond the friendship because he was anticipating a romantic relationship. He was pissed off. Now I'm sorry I mentioned it. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. One of the things I'm realizing, and this is something I'm learning in life, because I'm still growing. I haven't figured it all out yet. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. There are a lot of times that we put people in the wrong place, right? Because we have such a connection, and we got to get to a place. I really believe with all my heart, we got to get to a place where we normalize non-sexual relationships. What do I mean by that? What I consider, yeah, we got to get to a place where we normalize let me not say non-sexual relationships, but ultimate commitment relationships. Quick story, so you can understand what I'm saying. But before I tell my story, let me read a couple comments here. So you can have multiple soulmates. Of course, I believe that. I believe, but it's not a lot. I think that people that you meet with on that plane of existence is rare. I think it's rare. The problem is, like I said, a lot of times we feel like that person is a person that, because we meet on that level of existence, that we should marry them, or we meet on that level of existence that we should be in a relationship. or a sexual relationship, or you know what I mean. And sometimes it's not even, it's really not where they were meant to be. Like I said, with this story that I'm telling, this young lady, she is in love with her best friend not in love, or not ready for in love, right? And in my opinion, looking at the situation, I think best friend is where they need to be. Later on, I don't know. I'm not a prophet, but you know, I dabble in a little prophecy from time to time. But later on, I don't know. But for right now, I think where they are, just the connection that they have on so many different levels, so many different planes. You know what I mean? It's so obvious that they're like spiritual partners. You know what I mean? It's so obvious that they meet on a mental level. It's so they meet on they have similar kind of personality, similar. You know what I mean? Like you could tell, like that's a soulmate right there. But you're willing to sacrifice that because you got offended or you feel some type of way. I'm gonna tell you the advice I gave her. Do I have a soulmate? Janelle say yes. I call the pockets. I did. I don't know if I missed something. I'm not sure what that means, Janelle. Give me a little bit of. Give me a little more follow up on that. So I'll tell you a quick story. I've told y'all before. From the time I was 17, I was trying to get married, and it was one of those situations where, I just really felt like that's what I needed to do, and so therefore everybody had to fit into a mold of marriage, or we couldn't talk. So I ended up just eliminating a bunch of really cool people from my life just because they didn't fit into that place. And you come to realize that, you know what, not some people just don't fit in that place. And I think, and that's why I advocate, dating, because when you have options, then you don't feel locked into the one person that you connect with. You say, who should you marry? I think if you can marry a soulmate, sure, but there's a thing called, what I'm saying is there are connections that go beyond who you should marry. There are connections that go beyond boyfriend and girlfriend. There are connections that go beyond, that go beyond all of that, where you meet on a whole nother level, a whole nother plane, and that's something that should be protected. All right? Janelle want to come talk to me. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to add her and everybody if she comes on. Let's see if her connection solid. Everybody say hi, Janelle.
Hello.
Hi, Janelle.
What's going on, Shane?
Nothing much. Nothing. Little feedback. Are you watching? Nice.
I'm watching. No, I'm not watching Netflix. Did you say was I watching Netflix?
No, I say you watch the device.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my phone. Is that better?
I'm hearing me.
Oh,
I'm hearing me.
okay. I don't.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about me.
Okay, yeah, this is my first time ever doing this whole join a live thing. Hey.
I appreciate you coming up.
Cool beans. Well, okay, so I wanted to just elaborate on two things. One, you asked me about pockets, and I was kind of in the same situation where my soulmate was like, I know we are just a match in so many different ways. He's an artist and he's attached to me spiritually, and we like to have fun the same kind of way. But the next level was just not there. And I had to decide, okay, do I rather not have him in my life, or I still have him around my life, but understand that he doesn't belong in that pocket. And so he still had value to carry in my life, and I made sure that I wasn't seeking him to fill that pocket in my life, and made that available for somebody else. And it just made things so much better. So then I could talk to him about his other situations, and I became a closer friend. But I also stopped hurting myself because I'm sitting up here, put my hand in my pocket looking for him, and he ain't supposed to be there. So no, no.
Don't put him in the pocket.
Right, and and I had to get to the realization that, you know what, someone will fit that pocket perfectly. So I did myself justice by freeing up that space in my heart and my mind to not carry this fictional, who he, you know what I'm saying, got like a miniature version of him and comparing everybody to him, you know. um yeah, and as far as the soulmate situation goes, yes, your soulmate is more than just the person you marry. um and the person you marry might not necessarily be your soulmate.
That that is good. That's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Not your soul. I think why a lot of work is that people are putting things on the person they marry that they can't handle.
Right.
Like it's cliche is my best friend, is my best friend. But you know what? I was in a relationship where I was my girlfriend's best friend. She ended up saying to me about me. The same way that you like, oh, you can't believe it. He did such. Having this conversation with her about me, and I'm trying to. Don't you think I'm gonna take my
Right.
you know?
Right.
But she did not have a best friend anymore, and based on we worked romantically. Best friend is concerned, like it was too much on one individual.
Right. Right. Everybody shouldn't be your all in all. There's got to be some kind of diversification in your life, because then that becomes obsessive, and isolating. And the worst thing you could do is be that. You know.
Once again, with that relationship situations where my friends, we hang out every Friday or whatever the case is. They got to a place like I'm not going because and it's like, well, I was in I was like I was in love. You know what I mean? And it's a weird situation to be in, and you are so into this individual, but overall you're not happy. You've been locked away in the closet because this person made you their everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I will say, like, if you're, for instance, a female and your soulmate is a male, then your spouse issue with the connection that y'all have. It all even depends on how that case is. But you're right, like, not fits into the pocket. You can't put everybody into a situation there have the wherewithal to read. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So and I always say we core mentality from movies, from Disney growing.
Come on, that Barbie thing. That Barbie thing did a number on us. because really, as a woman, it's hard to sorry to cut you, but really for men to understand why are women so gung strong on I need to be married? You know why? Because we was raised on Barbies. And then after that, okay, the most important time in a woman's life is prom and wedding. And those are two times in which you are chosen by a man. And it's like, so then everything you do seems to be positioning yourself to eventually, even if that's not the forefront, it's always a thought in the back of your brain. And so once we understand that is just sprinkles on the Sunday, because you can go to the prom by yourself and enjoy yourself. You know.
No, I did. but the Yeah, this feedback is crazy.
I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up so you can talk, okay? And then maybe you can reach out
Okay.
to me later.
I appreciate you coming on because, like I said, I work. Right. I'm glad you came. Was because that is perfectly encapsulating what it is I'm trying to say. Everybody don't fit just because that's your soul, your husband pocket.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Just
And he would appreciate, and he appreciates that differentiation.
because then you can be who you need to be. You know what I mean? And you can be yourself. You can just live and truly love this person without the expectation of they have to be a certain thing to you. And I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have enough of those kind of relationships where people are free to love us without throwing a title on it. Without throwing because here's the thing. And I know, some folk ears just went up when I say no title or whatever the case is. Here's the thing. Titles bring expectation. What a title does, when you put a title on anything, it basically brings the expectation of what should come from that, right? So when you have a relationship with an individual, the moment you put a title on it, you have locked that individual into that particular position, right? So, for instance, if you and you are a female to a female, and you say, well, this is my best friend. Once you have labeled that individual your best friend, then that individual now has an expectation. You have placed an expectation on this individual within your own mind that this person is going to be a friend that is above every other friend. And what happens is, which is always funny to me, is that at times you go in, as you grow, you meet someone, you will even meet another individual who is a better friend. But yet still in your mind, you don't receive everything from that better friend because you have a best friend. You have to protect your best friend and tell the truth. Sometimes your better friend and your best friend just don't get along. And even when your best friend is a crappy friend, you still got to try to protect because you have labeled it. Right? There's one power that we have that was given to us by God. He gave it to Adam. He said, Adam, name these things. And whatever you call it, that's what it becomes. Right? It becomes what you call it. I preached a message one time say it becomes what you call it because it does. It does definitely become what you call it. The reason why, if you have a brand new baby, right? You have a new baby. You had the baby, you birthed the baby. You named the baby John. You say, John, the baby is 1 day old. You say, John, that baby don't respond to you. You know why? Because that baby is not yet John. But as that baby grows, you keep calling that baby John, then eventually he becomes John and answers to John and behaves now. He's locked into being John. That's what he is, right? And so it is with everything else. When you label things a certain way, then expectations are attached to that. And sometimes it's not the expectation is not even too much from the person that you have labeled, but your mental expectations is really what is causing the issue and the problem. It's just like when you get married and you now have a husband or you now have a wife. There are things that you expect of your husband. There are things you expect of your wife. And unfortunately, you never stop to check whether or not you have been mislabeling an individual. Right? What is a husband? What is a wife? We don't think about those things before we dive into labeling folks, right? What is a husband? What is he supposed to do? Now, is this what he's supposed to do based on tradition? Is this based on what he's supposed to do based on my personal expectation? Is this what he's supposed? Is he really even supposed to do this? is this what she's supposed to do based on tradition, expectation, or is she really even supposed to do this, right? And so it's just one of those situations where I just listen. Janelle said it beautifully. Even though she realized that her soulmate was not fitting in the pocket of husband, he still had value to her. And that's what I'm saying. We're throwing away things of value because they don't fit into the place that we think they should fit in. Right? So now I have my wallet here. Right? I have my wallet, and it doesn't fit into this thing here. It doesn't fit here. So now I throw in my entire wallet because I want the wallet to fit in here, and it doesn't fit. No, that's because it was that's not what's supposed to go there. That's why it doesn't fit, but it doesn't mean it doesn't still have value. And see, like I said, we're making choices because now you're in your feelings because it doesn't fit, and you feel like, you know what? And I cringe. Ugh, I cringe when I hear, especially I hear it a lot from single. She said thick. I cringe, especially when I hear from single women, oh, I only date with purpose. Like, how are you going to date with purpose and expect that you're going to get an accurate feel of who this individual is? Because what happens is this. Let me tell you what happened. And I speak from experience because I did it. What happens is this. You're dating with purpose. You know what? I'm only going to date people who I think have potential. You go and you run into folk, they don't have no potential, they don't have potential, based on the most shallow of criteria that you can come up with. Because everybody knows it takes a minute before you get to know who a real person is. But based on the most shallow criteria, going, oh, he doesn't go, he is not, he doesn't have a title, or he doesn't make a certain kind of money, or she don't know how to do this, and she did, yeah, like whatever the reasoning is. But what happens now is that, like I said, we run into a person that checks off our little stupid boxes, and we don't realize that the boxes, the checklist that you made is outdated. The checklist that you made doesn't even fit who you are as a person anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, because I remember when I was 30, when I was still 30 years old, I'm like, oh, I want to marry a virgin. And I'm like, yeah, when I was 30, I was like, oh, I want to marry a virgin. I want to marry a virgin. Yeah, good luck, bro, find a 30-year-old virgin running around in these streets. I mean, and the worst part was, like, I wasn't a virgin at that time. You know what I mean? But in my mind, based on how I was raised and based on the checklist that I had from way back when, because for some reason we feel like we're really, really smart when we're 18, 19 years old, and we feel like we know what takes to build a perfect relationship. We watch these rom-coms, like I said, and play with our Barbies, and we listen to church folk. You know what I mean? We listen to church. Listen, I love the church. I respect church. Church folk I can't stand. Anyways, when we listen to church folk tell us foolishness about what, you know, Boaz and all this stuff here, and like, and it's just so utterly ridiculous how we come up with a list. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous how we come up with our checklist. Because right now, think about it. You have a checklist of who you want to marry based on no real solid criteria. Ask yourself this question. Does my checklist really manifest who I am? Does it match who I am? Oh, I want, you know, I'm not trying to offend nobody. I'm really not. Janelle says sometimes people feel they're more valued by someone else and be hurt. Yeah, and I was talking to a friend of mine, right? I was talking to one of like pretty much my best friend. I was telling her, I was like, listen, you know what? I feel special. I'm gonna tell you why I feel special. I feel special because I feel like certain rules and regulations that everybody else has to live by or don't apply to me. Reason why I don't feel like certain rules and regulations apply to me is because I realize that a lot of these rules and regulations we have are stupid and asinine. So therefore, I would rather not be governed by a dumb rule that you came up with out of what? I don't know what it came up out of. And you say, what kind of stupid rules? Stupid rules like, oh, if my ex can't date my friend. Why not? You selfish jerk. Why can't your ex date your friend? Your friend might be a better fit for him or her. But you're selfish. And you decided that, you know what, you made up this rule out of just pull it out of the crack of your behind for no reason other than just you being selfish. When really, if you truly loved your friend like you said you do, you'd realize, you know what, this person might be their vibe matches my friend's vibe. Me and them couldn't kick it off, but maybe them and my friend could do it. But we have this rule for what I don't know. So I don't choose to live under the auspices of such idiosyncrasies. Big words. Janelle said, let him manifest in your life through his actions. Let her manifest in your life through actions. Man who finds a wife, she was operating her in her purpose, and he realized she fits in the pocket perfectly. I needed that hole sewn up, and look at her over there with a needle. Exactly. We're going to go with the pocket tonight. Yeah, y'all, you're trying to stuff things in the pocket that don't fit. Y'all trying to keep things in the pocket that don't want to be in the pocket. You know what I mean? It's like it does not fit. So you must quit. If it don't fit, then you must quit. But because they don't fit in that role does not mean that they don't have value. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, find the value of the individual, not the role that you want them to play. Find the value in the person. Don't find it in the role that you want them to play. And allow them to be the best version of themselves to you in the capacity in which they actually have in them. All I'm saying. So here's my advice to the young lady that was in love with the best friend. Best friend says things she ain't like. She was like, yo, bump you. But then she misses him. My advice was as such. Listen, you want this person in your life. This person carries a deeper value to you than just, you know what, that feelings, right? So you might have to make a decision that, you know what, you might have to acquiesce to some of those changes that he suggested. I mean, and not necessarily that you're going to change necessarily if you don't want to change, but at least support him in the change. Make him think that you are with him. Because the only reason why I feel that he would come to you and be like, oh, I made some changes, you got to make them changes too, or we can't be friends, it's a bad word, it's bad wording, it's bad way of expressing yourself. But really, like, if you look at the heart of the matter, the reason why he brought these changes to you is because you're his partner and he wants you to go with him on this journey that he's going on. Like nobody, why don't we ask the question why? Like genuinely, why? We don't ever ask that question when it comes to just people and the things they do. You know what I mean? We never ask the question why anymore. We just go, how did it make me feel? That's the only question. That's the one. How did it make me feel? And we operate based on how it made us feel, and we never ask the question why. Never ask the question why. It's like you have, it's like you have you have three, let me see, you have three sandwiches, right? You have three sandwiches. And you ate one sandwich and you had every plan to eat the other two sandwiches. But somebody came and took one of the sandwiches. I don't know about you, but when I make my plate, I don't know about you. I don't know about y'all, but when I make my plate specifically in a certain way that it has everything I want to eat in the amount in which I want to eat it. If I'm around certain people, I know that I got to add an extra spoon of this particular thing because they may want to taste it. Or I got to add an extra piece of this thing because they may want to try it. That's just how I do my plate because I know how much I want to eat. I know what I want it to look like. You know what I mean? I don't just eat food all willy-nilly. You get what I'm saying? But so imagine you did that. You got your three little sandwiches. There's, sliders, not big, and you're like, these three sandwiches is going to fill me up perfectly. You ate your one. You about to eat your second, but somebody comes and takes one. Here's how we deal with that situation. We get pissed. We get pissed that a person would take from us because you know what? That's my sandwich, and nobody should take my sandwich. And I don't, you know what I mean? And we would send that person to jail. We would kill him. We would crucify him. But we never asked, why did he take your sandwich? Before you get so mad, before you get so pissed, why did he take your sandwich? Well, you know what? He took your sandwich because he has a whole family around the corner that hasn't eaten in days, and he's trying to feed his family. If you ask the question why, then maybe you don't care about his family or whatever, but if you are any decent human being, then, not that you would excuse it, not that it's okay, but you would at least understand so you can be more in control of your emotions regarding that situation. But we fire off based on just how we feel right now, and then we want to apologize later. Like the Bible says, listen, there's certain things that can't be taken back once they are sent out. An arrow, once you shoot an arrow, you can't get it back. And harsh words. Janelle, is it selfish to expect someone to think, speak, or respond? Oh, so, no, she said it's selfish to expect someone to think, speak, or respond the way you want to. People have the right to feel and interact naturally. Other than that, it's manipulation. And just because someone differs from you does not mean that is wrong. If they fat people problems, yeah, you get what I'm saying. And it's like we have to get to a place where before we react or before we act on a feeling, that we look at the entire spectrum of the situation, ask the question why, and then once we ask the question why, we'll be in a better position to make some decisions that's actually going to be beneficial to us, that is, we don't have to go backtracking later on. Because now, like I said, I told her, I was like, listen, you might have to acquiesce to some of the things that he's saying, you know what I mean? Because right now when people want to make changes, they get on this high and, like, oh, I'm on a diet, so you need to be on a diet, that kind of thing, those kind of people. But eventually they calm down. Eventually they calm down. And once they calm down, then you could be like, hey, you was tripping. Ride with them through their moment if you value that individual. There's some people when they get to certain places, they're just straight jerks. But you don't throw them away because they're a jerk right now, especially, when they're going through some things. I never forget when my brother, he was having some personal issues, and because he was having personal issues, it would manifest in how he would interact with me, how he'd interact with mom, how he'd interact with friends, or whatever the case is. And I remember, it's funny because, and I want you to understand something, right? When I say these things, I'm not just saying them just because it sounds good or whatever. This is stuff that I had to learn, and I had to learn from sometimes just a sad place. Because like I said, my brother was going through some personal issues, some deep personal issues, something that was hurting him deeply. I was mad because, oh, he's treating our mother this way. Oh, he's acting this way. And I'm mad and I'm upset. And I remember going over to his crib and I'm, talking to him like, da da da. And it's like, and I called him a jerk. That's what I called. I was like, it was like, and I didn't just call him. I yelled it. I yelled at my brother. And if anybody knows the relationship between me and my brother, me yelling at him is unheard of. Reason being because, like, from as early as I can remember, my brother has always been taking care of me, my big brother. Like when I was 3 years old, he was 10, and he used to bathe me and get me dressed, take me to church type thing. You know what I mean? So he's always had kind of like almost like a fatherly role in my life. So I had the utmost respect for him. So to get to a place where I was yelling at him, I was like yelling at him. I'm like, you're acting like such a jerk. And I'm going off. And I 100% expected a fight. I expected a physical fight because I wasn't going to take it no more. That was my stance. I'm not going to take it no more. I'm not going to take this disrespect. I'm not going to take this whatever was going on. And we going to have to we going to have to fight today. That's what's going to have to happen. That's the kind of attitude I went there with. So when I called him a jerk and I yelled at him, like, he said nothing. He said nothing. And it was like a day or so later where he called mom and he was like, Mom, basically he told him. Now mind you, I'm talking about he's at this time he's he's like 33, and so that made me what, like 27 or something like that. 26, 27. But yeah, he told on me. He went and he told on me, but he didn't tell on me like he was mad. He told on me because I really hurt his feelings. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I would. I thought he would get mad. And like I said, I thought we would physically fight. But it hurt him. And what I realized from that situation was that I looked at how he was making me feel, right? And it made me mad. But I never asked the question, why is he acting this way? I never looked for an answer as to why he would act this way. Because especially when it's not the regular behavior of that individual, is not how they usually are. Somebody changes behavior, there's something going on in your job. You know what I mean? What I should have done if I was a good brother was ride the wave with him. You know what I mean? Like, excuse some of the foolishness. Some of the things, let him have certain things, whatever the case is. That's what I would have done if I had asked the question, why? So we got to stop valuing people based on the title that we want to give them, based on the position we want them to play, and find their value. Ah, man, that's good right there. That's good talking. I'm talking good. Don't value them based on the position you want them to play. Find their value and allow them to play that. That's why you got to stop marrying people who are not marriage minded, because you have decided you want them to play married role. No, their value was not in being a husband. Their value was not in being a wife. Their value was being a good friend. Their value was being a partner. Their value was being something else. Their value was being a God parent to your child. Their value was being, somebody that you could do business with. Their value was being somebody who would be there for you in certain situations. That's where their value is. Don't stop forcing people into a spot. And here's the thing: you force them into a spot, and now you're mad because they can't play the role you forced them to play. You took LeBron James and you put him on a golf course and you're mad because he didn't hit a hole in one. No, he belongs on the basketball court. That's where he belongs. Don't try to force it because you need a football player. Now you want to make him, oh, well, he's tall, he's fast, he can jump, so, he make a great receiver. No, he belongs on the basketball field. He doesn't belong on your football team. That's right. Extend a little grace. Most people, hurt people. That is a fact. When people are hurt, they hurt people. And it's not from a malicious place, but it's from a place where that's all. If all I have in me is hurt, that's all I can give. Stop expecting people to give you what they don't have. If they don't have it, they can't give it to you. Flat out. If he don't have husband in him, he can't give it to you. She don't have wife in her, she can't give it to you. If he don't have, you know what I mean? Like, stop trying to force people into places where they really don't belong because they don't have it. A lot of times people are still mad at their parents. Oh, I'm mad at my mom. Why are you mad at your mom? Oh, she never told me that she loved me. Well, her mama never told her she loved her. How's she going to give you verbal love that she never got? It's not easy. Listen, some people have gotten to a space, they've elevated to a space where in which, you know what, I did not get something, so I'm going to make sure that I give what I didn't get because I don't want people to feel like I felt. Some people can get to that place. Some people, you know what, I don't have it, so I can't give it to you. And it has to be okay. You don't devalue because they can't give you what you think they should give you. Right? And Janelle said being rejected by him was the best thing I ever had. Years later, I realized he never possessed the capacity of husband. He served the purpose of my muse. And that's, listen, just because y'all make beautiful music together don't mean y'all should make children together. You know what I mean? Just because y'all do great together in business don't mean that y'all will do great together in the business of marriage. Just because you and a person, y'all vibe on, y'all meet on intellectual plane don't mean you will meet on the emotional plane. Watch this, just because you meet on the emotional plane don't mean you're going to meet on the intellectual plane. So instead of being run by your emotions, make choices that are going to make you happy. Make choices that are going to make sense in the long run. And like I said, find the value in the person. Because at the end of the day, if you know the value of that person, then you do what you got to do to keep them in your life. Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Not everybody belongs in your life. There are some people in your life that don't belong there. There are definitely some people in your life that don't belong there. Get them, and if you want to get them out, by all means, get them out. I'm not talking about them people. I'm not talking about the riffraff and the jigaboos. I'm talking about those people that touch your soul on another level. You know that person that when you're around them, you feel safe. You just feel safe because you're around them. For no other reason than you're around them, you just feel safe. That's a connection that can't be bought by anybody. There's some folk that, you know, when you're around them, you just feel emotionally safe. You feel like you can share your emotions and you're good. But just because they feel emotionally safe don't mean that y'all need to go ahead and get freaky. You can't get gambling when all they have to give is a pint. You're right. You're right. Listen, there are some people I get around and I laugh. I get around them, I just laugh. And I laugh and I laugh. And oh man, I enjoy a good laugh when I'm around these particular individuals. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if I need some spiritual counseling, they're not the people I go to. And conversely, there's some people that, you know, if I want to talk spiritual, then I talk spiritual. There's some people that talk spiritual, and you know what? At the end of the day, when I'm done talking spiritual, I know that they not gonna make me laugh. There are some people that, you know what? They fulfill my need for affection. Some people, when I get around them, very affectionate. Just nice, good, clean affection. But I know that, you know what? This is not an individual who is going to stimulate me mentally. So I'm not going to marry you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to marry you because you stimulate me in one area and there's a big void in the other area. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or I'm not going to make you my best friend because you made me laugh. No, there's a lot more that I need from a best friend than just the fact that you made me laugh. I'm not going to make you my business partner because you're funny. I'm not going to make you my business partner because you give good hugs. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their role to play. And you have to figure out the value of that person before you decide what role you want them to play in your life. Because you're trying to get a round peg into a square hole and it's not going to work. It's causing you nothing but heartache and pain. And so, like I told her, I was like, yeah, Antoinette, what's going on? What's going on? Brother Barry, what's happening, most righteous apostle? No, I told like, you may have to put down your pride a little bit to keep this person in your life, especially if that's somebody that you value. You see, I feel like we pick up just stupid stuff from songs and from just, you know, oh, no new friends, no new friends. That's stupid. If you ever said that in your life, that is stupid. I'm not gonna call you stupid because, you know, you obviously got something smart about you because you're on here watching. But outside of the fact you're on here watching, saying no new friends is stupid. You need new friends because, you know, your old friends are trash. Your your old friends took you as far as they could take you, and if you all you got is old friends, then you ain't moving. You're not growing. You're not progressing. You need some friends that'll take you to another level. It's going to take new friends to do that. Like I said, you got to find the value of the person. You got to find the value of the person and then put a label on them if you need a label. I don't, I, I, I don't like labels. I really don't. I don't like labels. I don't, that's why I've never changed my Facebook status, whatever the case is, regardless of who I'm talking to, what's going on. And I don't allow people to label my situations either. I don't, because you know what? At the end of the day, my value in the people that's around me and the people in my life is not based on the label that they have. It's not based on what I call them. It's based on who they are. Hear what the Bible says. The Bible says, know those who labor among you. Be familiar Be watchful. Know those who are in your circle. In other words, you got to know the people in your circle. It didn't say label them. Ah, that's good right there. I'm going to take up an offering. Tell y'all where y'all can send an offering, because that was good. It didn't say label them. Know them. Know what they bring. Know who they are. Listen, there are some people that I love with all my heart, right? There are certain people I love with all my heart, and I will do anything for. I will give anything to, but they dog me. And when I say they dog me, they talk trash, all sorts of trash. And but even though I know that they talk trash about me, I still value them for who they are. They still have value. Like I remember, there was somebody going to my church, and I'm telling you, I invested so much time, effort, energy into that person, the whole family. You know what I mean? Just so much time, energy, and effort. And then when I heard the things that were said about me, I'm like, you ever heard somebody talk about you so bad you like start to think that you a horrible person? Like you had a good thought about yourself, and then you hear people talk about you like, yo, I must be straight trash. People be talking about me like this. But you know what? I still value them. I still value people who talk about me. I still value people who don't like me for whatever reason. I don't know, how could you not like me? You see this face? Anyways, I value people, but because I've always put them in a place based on who they have been to me personally, not who they talk about me as, not who they are in these streets. Wherever you are in the streets, this is not really my concern. At the end of the day, one of the things that I've learned, and one place I've gotten to, I've gotten so free of people. It's scary to me sometimes. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where like, yo, man, where like you hear people's opinion of you, and you're like, oh man, oh man, I just don't care. I just really that's 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 I'm trying to care. Wait, give me a second. They said that. Oh man, nope, still don't care. Still don't look. Say what you want, do what you want. I don't care, man. You know what I mean? And I know there are people around me that care for me. Like, when people certain things and people get mad on my behalf, but I because like I said, I know I have yet to be surprised by anybody in my life. I'm just never surprised. Never. Why? Because I know those who are in my circle. I know those who labor among me, and I've placed a value on them based on that knowledge. And I can love you with all my heart and not trust you. So, like I said, I give y'all the same advice that I gave that young lady. Listen, sometimes you gotta lay your pride down. Sometimes you gotta ride a person's wave while they're riding the wave. Now, when they come down, when the wave smooths out, then you deal with them on the level that you're used to dealing with them, whatever the case is. Sometimes you gotta ride a wave because only for the simple fact that you value that person in your life. That's really all it's about. Like, what do you value that person? Does that person carry a value in your life or no? Now, if they don't carry no value, don't put no time, energy, and effort into nobody that doesn't have value in your life. Don't do it. But if they do, if they touch your soul, if they touch your heart, they touch your mind, then you have to make a choice to ignore your feelings and do what you got to do to maintain that situation. No, internet, you ain't miss it. It's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much what it is. You ain't miss it. It's pretty much what it is. Like we making choices. The whole concept is that we're making choices based on our feelings, and our feelings are putting us in a bad situation. Our feelings have us cutting folk off that we really want to be in our lives. Have them in your life. The way you feel about me is yours to own. Nice to know the insight. Maybe even reflect on what you said as long as I stay true to the person in the mirror. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the information, how you feel and what you think and whatever the case is. Sure, that's all good and whatever. But at the end of the day, I got to love the person looking back at me. That's really what it is. Yeah, internet, just to catch you up, I was telling them about a friend of mine that stopped talking to their best friend because their best friend hurt their feelings and said some things that it probably shouldn't have said. Um, yeah. So, I told that person, like, listen, you're gonna have to acquiesce to the situation, get your best friend back in your life, and then once that best friend start tripping, then be like, hey, best friend, you was tripping. Because that person still carries value. Because listen, keep people in your life. Like, I want you in my life is enough. That's enough of a reason to have somebody in your life. I know the whole toxic situation. Oh, some people are toxic, and you need to let go of this person and let go of that person. And I know everybody want to tell you who to let go of and who to keep and whatever the case is. You know what? Let me tell you all a big secret. Nobody knows. They're all just guessing out here. At the end of the day, whoever puts a smile, whoever makes you happy, keep them in your life. Whoever makes you sad all the time, don't have them in your life. It's real simple. It's not complicated. It's not that complicated. If you make me happy, I'm with it. Stick around. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want you in my life is enough of a reason to have somebody in my life, in your life. That's enough of a reason. Don't let people tell you who to have in your life. Don't let people tell you, oh, don't have this person or don't have that person. Now, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. Like, here's the thing. There are some times when we want bad situations. You know what I mean? And sometimes we want bad situations. But just because a situation is not perfect does not make it toxic. Just because you and a person cannot necessarily agree on certain things, it doesn't make them toxic. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know where we are right now in our existence, where we feel as though I should never feel bad, I should never be offended, I should never be disagreed with, I should never be called a name that I don't like to be called, I should never be bullied, I should never have to I should never allow you to have an opinion that is different than mine. This is the world we're living in, and we don't realize we're destroying basic foundation of what makes us who we are. A lot of you would not be who you were if you didn't get bullied, for instance. Straight up. You think you'd have been a better person, or you'd listen, everybody at one point or another gets bullied. Sensitive is not something that is created. It doesn't. You don't become sensitive because you're bullied. You're already sensitive. That's why you react to bullying the way you did. Anyways, I mean, unless the bully was punching you in your face, now that's a whole nother situation. But somebody making fun of you, somebody cracking jokes, somebody like there's two types of people here. You make fun of them. You make fun of one person, crack a joke. They're going to make fun of you and crack a joke. They're going to crack a joke right back, or they're going to laugh at it. Ha ha ha, you stupid. And then tell the same joke to another person. They're going to be, how could you say that about me? It's not the joke that made you sensitive. You were sensitive before all that. Anthony says new word toxic has ruined and ended a lot of relationships. True. People sharing their feeling is toxic. Hurting people are toxic. People trying to figure out who they are is toxic. Everybody's toxic. I'm sick of fake wholeness. People are claiming we are all damaged. That's one of the things that I tell them every Sunday. I'm like, look, we got issues, all of us. We got problems, all of us. Like, it's amazing that we're not hanging from branches, right? It's amazing that we're not sitting in a pool of blood in a bathtub or something. Just do the life, how life works. You know what I mean? Just how life works. Life is life. Figuring out life takes time. And while you're figuring out life, you're going to say some stuff you shouldn't say. And some people are going to say some stuff to you that you may not want to hear. You know what I mean? But like I said, if you and your significant other are having issues, that don't make them toxic. It means that y'all are having a difference that y'all need counseling. That's what it is. You don't call them toxic and cut them out your life, because now you cut them out your life. You're sad, you're lonely, you're depressed. All of a sudden you try to jump in a dating pool that don't belong to you. She said, I am who I am because I realize I may be fat, but they are dumb. And my fat, cute self wins every time. Listen, let me tell you something. One of the most powerful things in life, I've said it before, one of the most powerful things in life is self-awareness. If you can look in the mirror and be 100 with you and know what your strengths and weaknesses are, then can't nobody mess with you after that. Can't nobody mess with you after that. Like, I look in the mirror and I see the love cushion. And I'm not out here trying to act like I got a six-pack. I got a love cushion. That's what I got. So at the end of the day, you're going to roll with me. You're going to get this love cushion. That's what you get. You ain't getting no six-pack, getting no rock-hard abs or nothing. You're getting all of this love cushion. But I can also look in the mirror and say, you know what? Yes, decent looking brother right there. I ain't ugly. I mean, I'm, whoever you think is the most gorgeous man. I mean, I'm not going to replace dude on Bridgerton. You know what I mean? I guess he's the hot thing now. I'm not going to replace him, but I'm like I said, I gave y'all a challenge and ain't nobody was able to do it yet. Name 5 big guys. I'm talking about over 300 pounds. 5 big guys is better looking than this guy. You can't do it. You can't do it. Marine, I miss you so much. We got to do lunch or something. I miss you so much. I thought about you like all throughout December. We were supposed to be hanging out at the ballet, but I miss you. Anyways, yeah, no, the love, that's what you get. That's what's in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I see it. I know what it is, and here's the thing. I love it. That's what you get at the end of the day. But but being self-aware about my physical allows me to be confident even as a big guy. You get what I'm saying? Being self-aware about my mental allows me to be confident when I speak. Knowing what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are allows me to navigate this thing called life a little bit more smoother, if you will. I don't put myself in a lot of situations where my strengths can't shine. I just don't. You know what I mean? But I digress. Listen. Life is about choices. Now you can make those choices based on whatever it is that you want to make those choices based on. But I encourage you not to make any choices based on solely your feelings right now. And that's what I mean, choice versus feeling. I have to make a decision right now. Don't make that decision right now based on how you feel right now, because you may not feel that way tomorrow. Feelings are temporary. Every feeling is temporary. A lot of people, and you know what happens? We make decisions based on how we feel right now. When we don't feel that way, pride kicks in, and now we're stuck in our prison of our own making. We're stuck in a prison of our own making. We made a prison because we made a decision based on how we felt at the moment. So even when we don't feel that way anymore, our pride causes us to have to stand by what decision that we made. That's why you kicked him out the house. And then when you miss him, you can't call him and say, hey, I miss you, come back. Because your pride won't let you call him and say, hey, I missed you, come back. That's why you stormed out the house, young fella, my brother. That's why you stormed out the house and you took the Christmas lights off the Christmas tree because you was mad. And now your pride won't let you go back home. Leave the pride. Listen, pride is a killer, man. Pride is a killer. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary situations. Yeah, pride is a killer. Exactly. It's temporary. And you know what? 99% of things in this thing called life is temporary. If you can understand that, then number one, you'll maximize your moments because it's temporary. Number two, you won't get locked into a moment because it's temporary. I should write a book. Maximize your moments because they're temporary, but don't get locked into a moment because it's temporary. And we frustrate ourselves to no end trying to extend temporary situations, trying to extend temporary moments. Like I said, that person was never supposed to be in your life for 5 years. That person was supposed to be in your life for 5 months, but because they made you feel good for 5 months, you decide you want to extend their stay. No, sometimes you need to just take that 5 months, be like, appreciate you, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. But listen, man. So many things in this thing called life don't matter. Don't matter. Um, yeah, I'm staying because they're gonna talk about me, especially because they said leave them a long time ago, and I got to prove them wrong. How about you prove yourself right and operate in wisdom? Exactly. But so and that's another thing too. Like a lot of people are in situations that they should get out of because of pride, because they don't want somebody to say something about them, like Janelle said. You know what I mean? Don't stay in it just because people will say something or it's not going to look good or who cares? Who cares? Listen, pick one person whose opinion matters. Just pick one. And other than that, forget everybody else's opinion. Because you know what? They wasn't with you shooting in the gym. And they're not going to be with you when you shooting in the gym next time. You know what I mean? They're just not going to be with you shooting in the gym next time. It's just really what it is. At the end of the day, people just want to see you and judge your life based on what they see in public, but they're not in the trenches with you. And if they're not in the trenches, then their opinions means diddly squat. I was at a wedding this Saturday. Shout out to Mrs. Graffy. Shout out to Mrs. Graffy. I was at a wedding this Saturday, and I was talking. I was emceeing the wedding, and I borrowed a line. I believe it was Chance the Rapper that said it. He said, "I don't want anybody at my wedding who's not going to be there for my marriage." I like that. You know what I mean? So I encourage the people at the wedding. I was like, listen, don't just be here for the wedding. Be here for the marriage. You know what I mean? Because there are times when people are going to need you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But Listen, you need to understand that if they are not with you in the trenches, then what they got to say don't matter. Outside voices need to be quieted. Quiet all outside voices, all outside opinions, all outside thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Quiet them. Focus on the voices of the people that's in the mix with you. Right? Man, y'all be on some stuff in my chat. But anyways, no, like people in the trenches with you day to day, that are going through day to day, that are, you know, helping to wipe your tears when you cry, that's laughing when you're laughing, that's sad when you're sad. Those are the people that you need to worry about what they think. Everybody else is just noise. Let it be just that, noise. Let it be just that. Let it just be noise. Because you know what? If you keep shaping your life based on people's opinion, you're going to end up looking stupid. I'll tell you a quick story. So there's this man. There was a man and his son, and they went and they bought a donkey. So the man and his son were walking beside the donkey. They get to a group of individuals, and these people start talking about him like, oh man, how stupid are they? They have a donkey, but they're walking beside the donkey. That's stupid. Why don't they ride a donkey? So the father looked at his son, felt some type of way. He and his son jump on the donkey. They start riding the donkey. They get a little bit down the way. They run into another group of people. They start, oh man, these guys are cruel. I can't believe they would do that to the donkey. Why are both of them on the donkey when the only one person should ride a donkey at a time? Oh man, these people are cruel. This man and this son, they are horrible. So the man looked at his son. He felt some type of way. So he's like, you know what, son? You go on the donkey. I'm going to walk beside the donkey. They get down the road. They get a little further down the road. And they run into another group of people. And these people start talking about him. Like, hey, oh man, what a cruel, cruel little boy. What a horrible little boy. His poor old father is walking while he's sitting on the donkey. He got young, fresh legs. Well, he should be walking. Why is his father walking? So his father looked at his son and felt some type of way. His son felt some type of way because he felt like he was being unfair to his father. So the father goes on the donkey. The son starts walking beside the donkey. They get down a little way, they find another group of people, and these people talk about him like horribly. Like, oh man, what a cruel old man. He has his poor son walking while he's riding on the donkey. That man is horrible. What kind of father is he that has a son walking while he's sitting on the donkey? And so now they're out of options. They walk beside a donkey, people got stuff to say. They both ride a donkey, people got stuff to say. The father ride a donkey, people got stuff to say. The son ride a donkey, people got stuff to say. So the only thing left for them to do, they picked up the donkey, put donkey on their back, legs sticking straight up, and that's how they walked on with donkey. Looking like complete idiots because they kept worrying about what people got to say. Look, you ain't helped me buy this donkey. You ain't helped me have this son. So therefore, you don't get to tell me how this thing's supposed to go. Stop worrying about people's opinions and stop letting your pride cause you to be uncomfortable. You cutting off your nose to spite your face. For what? You get no credit for that. Nobody gives you a trophy. You don't get an applause. You don't get a, hey, good job. No, you get nothing for it except loneliness and feeling like you're missing this this individual, this person out of your life that you don't have to miss out of your life. Stop making choices based on your feelings right now. Choose how you're going to choose things that's going to make you feel better in the long term. If that person makes you feel better in the long term, value them, keep them, value them, keep them. If they touch your soul, value them, keep them. They may not fit in the pocket, but they still have value. All right. Now listen here. I want to let y'all know that I value you. I value each one of you. I know some of you come on, you can be on with me all night. Some of you got to go early. I tried to start a little earlier tonight, see if that would help some of you. The little complaints about it being a little bit later. But listen, I want to let you know I really value you and I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for everybody that commented. Janelle, thank you for coming on and talking to me. I always appreciate, especially those who come on and talk to me. Y'all wilding in my chat right now, but I really appreciate y'all. And listen, do me a favor. I need your help. Go to my YouTube page. It's Shane Walters. Go to the YouTube page, Shane Walters, and if you want to rewatch this video, rewatch the video on the YouTube. All right. I appreciate. Listen, if you watch it on Facebook Live, if you rewatch it on Facebook Live or you share it on Facebook Live, beautiful. But I really, really would love if you would share the YouTube link so folks can see the video on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so that I can make some changes to the page and give you some better content. And you liking the videos on YouTube, subscribing, and commenting all helps the algorithm of YouTube, whatever the case is, and it helps the channel to grow. So go to my YouTube channel, Shane Walters. Y'all can rewatch this and other videos. This video will be up tonight by midnight, so you'll be able to rewatch it. I'm gonna send a link to you. Now, if there's anything that you would like me to discuss and you want to talk about, inbox me. If you have my number, call me. Send me a text. Let me know what you would like me to talk about next time. Whatever topics you would like us to talk about. As far as the next legacy event, we'd have to ask Julian. I don't think we have a specific event to us that is coming up, but we do have a lot of events, legacy, over and over again. All right, but once again, thank you so much. I love y'all. Listen, I love you to life. I value you. So no matter what happens, I'm not going to make a decision and cut you off or block you from my Facebook Lives, all right? You will not get blocked from my Facebook Lives. I'm going to ride with you through your emotions. And listen, I'm doing this every Wednesday. Right now, the schedule every Wednesday, I will be on, okay? Every Wednesday, so I need y'all to come and join me. Come and talk to me, all right? Get on, like I said, put on your bonnet, put on your wig, come on, click on and talk to me. And comments, questions, share the video, like the video. Like I said, we put this on YouTube. So like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video upload. We got some new content coming up soon as well, so look out for that. You want to hit the notification so you don't miss the new content that we have coming out. And it's going to be a good time. So I appreciate y'all. Listen, value the person, then label them. Don't label and then try to value. Find their value, then give them the label. Don't give them the label and try and be mad that they can't live up to that expectation. God bless y'all. I love you.